He thought he knew her. He thought loyalty was unbreakable. But tonight, everything shatters. Mendeecees' rage isn't just anger, it's the sound of years of trust collapsing in seconds. And Yandy. She's caught in a storm that could destroy everything they built together. This is not just drama. This is betrayal at its darkest. He thought he knew her. He thought loyalty was unbreakable. But tonight, everything shatters. Mendeecees' rage isn't just anger, it's the sound of years of trust collapsing in seconds. And Yandy. She's caught in a storm that could destroy everything they built together. This is not just drama. This is betrayal at its darkest. For years, fans have watched Mendeecees and Yandy present themselves as the power couple, strong, resilient, unshaken by outside forces. From the early days of love and hip-hop, their chemistry was undeniable. He was the street-smart, charismatic figure who fought through struggles in prison time, while she was the business-savvy, ride-or-die partner who held the family down. Together, they embodied loyalty. At least, that's what the world thought. But behind closed doors, things weren't always as perfect as they seemed. Little cracks had started to show. The long distance caused by Mendeecees' prison sentence, the financial struggles, the outside influences, all of it started to pile up. And while Yandy kept the image of being the supportive wife, whispers of betrayal began to surface. Whispers that Mendeecees couldn't ignore any longer. On this particular night, those whispers turned into full-blown accusations. The moment was tense. Mendeecees confronting Yandy, his voice louder than the walls could contain. His hands shaking, his jaw clenched, his words cutting sharper than a knife. "How could you do this to me, Yandy? After everything we've been through? After all the years I sat behind those bars thinking you had my back, you betray me like this?" Yandy, caught off guard, tried to hold her composure. She had always been the strong one, the woman who didn't let emotions overtake her. But this wasn't just about saving face anymore. This was about saving the life she built with him, Mendeecees. "You don't understand," she pleaded, her voice trembling, but her eyes still searching for strength. "You're hearing things. You're believing things that aren't even true. You're letting the streets come between us." But Mendeecees wasn't having it. This wasn't the first time he'd heard the rumors. Friends had been whispering. People close to him were dropping hints. And the evidence, at least in his eyes, was piling up. He exploded, slamming his hand against the table. "Don't play me like I'm stupid, Yandy. I know what's been going on. I ain't blind, I ain't deaf. I hear the talks, I see the signs. You've been moving different. You think I don't notice?" The air in the room grew heavy. Every word hung between them like a blade. Yandy's chest rose and fell as she tried to hold back tears, but she couldn't stay silent anymore. "You think it was easy for me?" She fired back, her tone shifting from defensive to desperate. "You were gone, Mendeecees. I was alone, raising the kids, handling the business, carrying everything on my back while you were inside. Do you have any idea what that felt like?" Her voice cracked, but her pain was real. Still, in Mendeecees' eyes, that didn't excuse betrayal. Loyalty was everything to him. He had sacrificed, he had fought, he had trusted. And in his mind, Yandy had crossed the line. The arguments spiraled. Voices overlapping, emotions spilling like broken glass across the floor. For Mendeecees, this wasn't just about rumors, it was about principle. About the very foundation of their relationship. About whether he could ever look at her the same way again. As the tension escalated, flashes of their past played like a movie in his mind. The moment she said she'd wait for him. The visits, the promises whispered across prison phones. The tears shed when he walked free. All of it now felt tainted. "You had one job, Yandy," he growled, his voice low but deadly. "To hold it down. To ride for me the way I rode for you. And now, you made me look like a fool. You made me feel like everything I believed in was a lie." Yandy stood frozen, her lips trembling, her heart racing. She wanted to scream, to defend herself, to make him see the truth. But deep down, she knew perception was everything. And in his world, perception was reality. The betrayal he felt wasn't just about her actions, it was about trust, about image. about the humiliation of thinking the woman he trusted most might not have been as loyal as she claimed at that moment. Silence filled the room. The only sound was the heavy breathing of two people who loved each other, but who were being torn apart by anger and suspicion. And the world outside? They had no idea that behind the smiles and the perfect couple image, the foundation was crumbling. The dark truth behind the betrayal wasn't just about Yandy's alleged actions. It was about the cracks that had been ignored for too long. The unresolved issues, the unspoken resentments, the weight of years spent apart. As Mendeecees stared at her with a mix of fury and heartbreak, Yandy realized something she had always feared. This wasn't just another fight. This was the fight. The one that could end everything. And as the night went on, became clear nothing between them would ever be the same again. The silence after the explosion was deafening. To people who once built their empire on trust, now stood in the ruins of it. But in the world of Mendeecees and Yandy, nothing stays hidden for long. Once the cracks are exposed, the entire structure threatens to collapse. And this was only the beginning. When word of their heated confrontation began to circulate among those closest to them, the whispers spread like wildfire. Friends, family, cast members, everyone wanted to know the truth. Had Yandy really betrayed Mendeecees? Or was this a case of paranoia, jealousy, and outside voices planting poison in his mind? For Mendeecees, the pain was raw. He couldn't shake the image of Yandy smiling. Yandy laughing, was she smiling with him? Or was she smiling with someone else? Every memory replayed differently now. Every absence, every unexplained call, every late-night business meeting suddenly felt like evidence. His pride was wounded, his trust shattered. And his anger only fueled the storm. He confided in his closest circle. Men who had been with him through the streets, through prison, through the struggle. They weren't forgiving. They didn't soothe his rage. Instead, they fanned the flames. "Bro, you can't let that slide," one of them told him. "You held it down for years, and if she stepped out on you, that's disrespect. That's the ultimate betrayal." But others warned him to tread carefully. "Think about your family, Mendeecees. Think about the kids. If you blow this up too big, there's no coming back from it." Mendeecees felt trapped between two worlds, the world of loyalty and pride, where betrayal was unforgivable, and the world of family, where forgiveness might be the only way forward. Meanwhile, Yandy was left to pick up the pieces of her dignity. The rumors weren't just whispers anymore, they were headlines. Blogs, social media pages, fan accounts. Everyone was dissecting her every move. Some defended her, calling her the backbone who had kept Mendeecees' name alive during his darkest times. Others dragged her, accusing her of being unfaithful, of living a double life while her man was locked away. Yandy sat with her closest friends, tears in her eyes, but fire in her voice. "They don't know me," she said, her voice breaking. "They don't know the nights I stayed up, the bills I paid, the sacrifices I made. They don't know how hard it was to smile for those cameras while inside I was breaking. And now, because of some rumors, I'm the villain." Her friends tried to console her, but even they wanted answers. "Yandy, just tell us straight. Did you or did you not betray him?" Yandy looked down, silence speaking louder than words. Whether she was guilty or innocent, the perception was already built. And in the world of celebrity, perception is reality. The situation escalated when footage leaked of their arguments. Someone close enough to record had captured Mendeecees' explosion, his voice booming as he accused Yandy of betrayal. The clip spread online like gasoline on fire. Fans dissected every second, every gesture, every pause. Every second, every gesture, every pause. "He looks hurt, not angry. That means she really did something." "Nah, Yandy's innocent. You can see it in her eyes. She's just tired of carrying everything." Either way, this relationship is done. Once trust is gone, it's over. The court of public opinion had convened, and neither Mendeecees nor Yandy could control the narrative anymore. But behind the headlines, behind the trending hashtags, the truth was darker than anyone expected. This wasn't just about cheating. This was about loyalty, money, power, and control. Yandy had been making business decisions while Mendeecees was locked up, decisions that not only kept the family afloat but also put her in positions of power he never expected. Some said the betrayal Mendeecees felt wasn't just romantic, it was financial. That while he was gone, Yandy had expanded her influence, taken over certain deals, and made moves that left him feeling sidelined. When he came home, it wasn't the same dynamic. She wasn't just the supportive wife anymore, she was the boss. And for a man like Mendeecees, pride was everything. To feel like he lost not only his partner's loyalty, but also his position as the head of the household. That was a double hit. Confrontations turned into cold silences. Arguments turned into sleepless nights. Their once picture-perfect family life became a battlefield of accusations, denials, and mistrust. The kids noticed. Friends noticed. And the cameras always watching were ready to capture every tear, every slammed door, every whispered phone call. At one point, Yandy tried to bridge the gap. She sat across from him, eyes swollen from crying, voice trembling but determined. "Mendeecees, listen to me. I didn't betray you. Not the way you think. Did I make decisions without you? Yes. Did I hold it down in ways you don't even know about? Yes. But everything I did was for us. For our family. Not against you." But her words fell flat against the wall of his anger. To him, betrayal wasn't just about sleeping with someone else. It was about loyalty in every form. And in his eyes, she had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. The tragedy of it all was clear. Both of them were fighting for their version of the truth. Both believed they were right. But in love, sometimes being right doesn't matter. Sometimes the damage is already done. As the days turned into weeks, the tension only grew. Events that should have brought them together, family dinners, business meetings, even their kids' milestones were overshadowed by the invisible wall between them. Every smile felt forced. Every hug felt hollow, and just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, another bombshell dropped. A mysterious message surfaced online, screenshots of alleged texts, supposedly from Yandy to another man. Whether real or fabricated, they reignited the fire. Mendeecees saw them and lost what little patience he had left. "This is it," he shouted in a late night phone call captured by a nearby mic. "I'm done. You crossed me, Yandy, and I swear, the world's gonna see the real you." The betrayal had gone from private pain to public war. And now, there was no turning back. The walls had closed in. What started as whispers was now a full-blown storm. And Mendeecees and Yandy were standing at the center of it, exposed to the world. The mysterious texts had fanned the flames. The leaked footage had gone viral. And now their marriage wasn't just crumbling behind closed doors. It was falling apart in front of millions. Mendeecees' rage reached its peak. The man who once kept his composure, who always tried to handle business with a calm but firm hand, was now consumed by emotion. The betrayal, whether real or imagined, it at him like fire in his chest. To him, the relationship he thought was unbreakable was nothing but an illusion. In one explosive moment, he confronted Yandy in front of friends, cameras rolling, the world ready to watch. "You think I'm gonna sit here and let you make me look like a clown?" His voice cut through the room like thunder. "All these years, I gave you my loyalty, my trust, my name, and this is how you do me. You got me looking crazy out here." The room froze. Even those who had seen them fight before knew this was different. Yandy, tears streaming, raised her voice back, no longer just defensive, but wounded, furious, heartbroken. "You don't know what loyalty is, Mendeecees," she screamed. "Do you know what it felt like to raise kids alone? To keep businesses running? To stand in front of cameras and pretend I was okay when I was breaking inside? Don't you dare talk to me about loyalty when I carried everything on my back while you were gone." Her voice cracked, but her words cut deep. The audience watching from the outside saw not just betrayal, but years of unresolved pain spilling out like poison. But Mendeecees wasn't ready to hear it. His pride had been wounded too deeply, and in his world, image was everything. In his eyes, Yandy had made him look weak. And weakness, in his world, was unforgivable. The camera zoomed in on his face, anger mixed with heartbreak, love colliding with fury. "I would have died for you, Yandy," he said quietly, his voice shaking with emotion. "And you couldn't even stay true to me when I needed you the most. That's something I can't ever forget." The silence that followed was deafening. Yandy sobbed, covering her face with her hands. While the weight of his words settled like stone in the room, the fallout was immediate. Blogs had their headlines ready. Fans flooded social media, picking sides, dissecting every word. Some saw Mendeecees as the betrayed husband, standing up for his dignity. Others saw Yandy as the misunderstood woman, punished for trying to survive and thrive in impossible circumstances. But the dark truth wasn't just the betrayal. The dark truth was deeper. It was about power, about pride, about the cracks that had been forming long before any rumors of cheating. Behind the scenes, family members stepped in. Some begged Mendeecees to calm down, to think of the kids. Others urged Yandy to fight back, to expose her side of the story. The house became a battlefield of whispers, advice, and judgment. At one point, Yandy sat alone in her bedroom, staring at old photos, the wedding day, the family vacations, the moments when love seemed unshakable. She whispered through tears, "How did we get here? How did we let it all slip away?" For Mendeecees, the anger was personal, but it was also public. He couldn't escape the humiliation. Everywhere he turned, people had opinions. People whispered behind his back. People sent him screenshots. People tagged him in posts. His name, his pride, his entire image was under attack. And in his world, once your respect is gone, it's almost impossible to get it back. The couple finally agreed to sit down one last time. With cameras rolling, knowing the world was watching. It wasn't just about them anymore. It was about closure, about setting the record straight, about reclaiming some kind of control over the chaos. Mendeecees looked at her, his face hard but his eyes betraying the hurt inside. "Tell me the truth, Yandy. Right here, right now. Did you betray me? Did you step out on me?" The question hung in the air like a noose. Yandy inhaled deeply, her tears drying on her cheeks. Her voice shaking but steady. "I didn't betray you the way you think I did," she said. "I didn't give my body to another man. I didn't give my heart to someone else. But yes, I made choices without you. I built things without you. I became stronger without you. And maybe that's the betrayal you feel, that I didn't stay small, that I didn't wait to be saved. I saved myself. And for that, you hate me." Her words stunned the room. Mendeecees' face hardened, his pride refusing to admit the truth she spoke. To him, betrayal had many forms, and what she described was still a wound he couldn't accept. The final blow came when he stood up, shaking his head. "You might think that's strength, Yandy, but to me, that's betrayal. And I can't build with someone I don't trust. We're done." The words shattered her completely. Yandy broke down, sobbing, while the cameras captured every second. For the fans, it was the end of an era. For the couple, it was the destruction of everything they had once promised each other. The world watched as Mendeecees walked away, leaving Yandy crumbling in tears. The perfect image of loyalty and love destroyed forever. And that, right there, was the dark truth behind the betrayal. It wasn't just about cheating. It wasn't just about rumors. It was about pride, about power, about the unbearable weight of love mixed with pain. The unbearable weight of love mixed with pain. For Mendeecees, the explosion wasn't just anger, it was heartbreak, disguised as rage. And for Yandy, the betrayal wasn't about disloyalty, was about losing the man she had sacrificed everything for. The empire they built together lay in ruins. And the question left hanging in the minds of millions was chilling. Can love survive when trust is dead? Only time would tell. This betrayal has left everyone speechless. But do you think Mendeecees was right to walk away? Or was Yandy's truth enough to save their love? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. because this story is far from over. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next explosive chapter.